Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm
Like a cold in my nose, but I feel pretty good. How was your day at school?
I got it's too rainy over here. That's why my teacher canceled the playtime and library time.
Oh no, that's not good. So you had to stay in the building?
Yes.
Oh, do you have playtime in the building then?
No.
You just have to stay in class, huh?
Yes.
Well, that's too bad. Well, over here in our schools, when we can't go outside for playtime, they just play in the room or they go to the gym and play with basketballs and volleyballs and other kinds of sports equipment. So yeah, we always have a big gym at our schools where the kids can go and play and run and we have physical education class every day. So it's a time when they get to go out and run and play games in the gym. Plus they have playtime. So our kids get a lot of playtime over here. Okay, well, did you practice something to read for me today?
Like the wooden bowl. My English test.
Okay. What's the name of the story?
The wooden bowl.
The wooden
Bowl.
bow?
Yes.
All right, let me see. Let me see the title. Bowl. The wooden bowl. We say bowl. I heard you say bowel. It's bow. Long O. Bowl. Bowl.
Uh,
Bowl. Bowl.
bowl.
Yeah, that's better. The wooden bowl. All right. Were there any words in there that you didn't know?
Let's see. When I'm reading, I got any word. Anybody know that we can keep as a word?
Okay, so you didn't find any that you didn't know? Okay, well that's good. So that means that your reading level is right on track. Okay, well, whenever you're ready, go right ahead.
Once upon a time, in a small town in Germany, there lived an old man called Kurt. He lived with his son Manfred and his daughter Tekla. They all shared a little old house at the end of a quiet street in the middle of the town. Manfred was a carpenter and spent all his time in the workshop next to the house. He had learned carpentry from his father, who had been famous carpenter in his day. The old man had taught his son well, and the son earned good living. He made furniture for people of the town, and from time to time he did some carvings. The young couple, Manfred and Tekla, had a son called Wilhelm. The boy liked to sit in the workshop, watch his father, and grew older. He helped his father by fetching and carrying things. He learned to clean the tools and take care of them. He learned how to use and saw a hammer and Chester and grandfather taught. Can you tell me the spelling?
Mm-hmm.
C
Mm-hmm. C
H
H
I
I
S
S
E
E
L.
L. That's chisel. Chisel. It's a tool that is sharp on one end, and they use a hammer or something to hit the end of the tool, and then it takes some of the wood away on whatever project they're working on. It's a tool.
Used and saw a hammer and a chest, and his grandfather taught him to carry wood into a wonderful shapes. Now, the old grandfather was very old and getting older. Every day, he was not very strong. His eyes were dim and he could not see well. Sometimes his hands shook, and sometimes he sat on straight and nod off, no- and nod off to sleep. He was always sleeping. In the evening, when they sat down at the dinner table, Manfred and Tekla used to get angry with, with the old grandfather. He was slow and clumsy. Sometimes he broke the glasses, sometimes he dropped a spoon, and sometimes he slipped soup on his shirt. Can you tell me the spelling?
Uh-huh.
T
T
R
R
O
O
U
U
S E
S E
R S.
R S. Trousers. Trousers.
Trousers.
Trousers. Trousers are the the long pants that you wear on your legs. It's a article of clothing. Trousers.
Trousers. He was an old man. After all, one day during the evening meal, the old man dropped his plate on the floor. Crash! It smashed to 100 tiny pieces, and the food fell all over the place. Tekla and Manfred began to clean up the floor, but how angry they were. After the after the after the accident, they brought him a cheap wooden bowl from the market and gave him his dinner. In that, they made the old man to sit by himself in the corner of the room to eat his food. The owner was very sad, but what could he do? He kept quiet and did not complain. One evening, not long afterward, Declan Manford had finished work for the call for William. They looked in his room. Call for Wilhelm. I'm sorry, got a mistake. One evening, not long afterwards, Tekla and Manfred had finished work for the day and were getting the evening meal prepared. When the meal was ready, they called for Wilhelm. They looked in his room, but he was not there. Where could that boy be? Asked Tekla. Manfred had no idea. He asked the old man if he had if he had seen Wilhelm, but the old man shook his head. Tekla and Manfred became little worried. They looked out on the street, but Wilhelm was not there. Then they saw the light in the workshop. They went to look. They stepped into the workshop, found the son sitting on the stool and cutting a small block of wood and working as hard as could he. Ah, there you are, said Tekla. What are you making, son? Asked Manfred. William put down his block of wood and chisel. He looked up at his parents. I am making a wooden ball for you. Eat from when you are old, replied the boy. The parents looked at each other, their eyes filled with tears. Come, dinner is ready, said Tikla softly, and she put her arms around her son, and the three of them went back to house. After this, Tekla and Manfred always asked the grandfather to sit with them at the table. This is the story.
Oh, that was a nice story. It was sad. I felt sad when they made Grandpa sit over by himself. He was the grandpa, right? The old man.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that happens when you get older, doesn't it? You can't do the things you used to be able to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Indian villages, some people would get more older and they couldn't hold the bowls and glasses.
Right.
They couldn't
Well,
walk.
let's fetching. Oh, let's talk about a couple of the words that I heard. I heard carving, and fetching, and chisel. I spelled that one for you. Fetching and chisel and trousers. Maybe we could write some sentences with those words. How about it?
Okay.
Okay. So let's try carving. I have this from India. Do you recognize these? Have you seen these before in India?
No.
No. Well, I got this from one of my Indian students, and this elephant. Can you tell that it's an elephant? This elephant had to be carved with a knife by somebody like a carpenter, somebody that was good working with wood. And then this cup, you can see how intricately carved it is. This started out as just a plain piece of wood, and then they take their chisels and they start making the design by using the chisel, and the chisel takes out the wood where the carpenter wants the wood to be removed. So carving. Have you ever tried to do any carving?
Uh, no, but sometimes I will take new soaps. I'll take some needles and draw some pictures.
Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes kids take a bar of soap and they take a knife and start carving an object out of the bar of soap. I don't know if you should be using knives because you might hurt yourself, but that's what they do. Okay, so let's write a sentence with carving or carve or carved. Let's say the old man was sitting. The old man was sitting in his wood shop. The old man was sitting in his wood shop carving on a piece, carving on a piece of wood. The old man was sitting in his wood shop carving on a piece of wood. So there we have carving used as a verb showing action. You can actually see him carving using his tools and his knife, making a picture, making an object out of the wood. But we can also use carving as a noun. So let's write yeah, oh yeah, that's right. So you can see he's holding a chisel, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's write this sentence. The old man's, man's would be MAN apostrophe S. The old man's carving. The old man's carving was.
Yeah, Ramsey's father was carving a piece of wood and making a pen holder, like your holder.
Yeah, yes. Now I'm going to make a sentence using carving as the noun instead of the verb. The old man's carving was a beautiful butterfly.
Butterfly.
The old man's carving was a beautiful butterfly. So here the carving is used as a noun. It's the actual, this is a carving, that's noun, and it was carved, or it was carving would be the verb.
Carving is a thing that is only made of wood, or we can say any designs.
I didn't understand what you asked.
Like there's a carving means like only the thing only made of wood or any designs, like anything plastic, silver.
Yeah, you could carve other materials, but wood is the main material used for carving because you can chip out the wood fairly easily. Like I said, some people use soap to practice, a bar of soap. Yeah, you can carve on other
This
materials.
much big soap and putting some drawing.
Yes, you could do that. That's for sure. You could do that. Okay. So carving. What about fetching? Fetching. Fetching. Do you know what fetching means?
Yes, to fetch something. Like
Okay.
if fetching a fish.
Yeah. If your mom asks you to go get something for her in the other room, then you would go fetch whatever she asked for.
Like
Right?
my mother asked me mobile, I go and fetch the mobile and give it to her.
Yeah. All right, let's write a sentence with chisel.
Chisel.
Chisel, Chisel. This is a word that can also be used as a verb and a noun, depending on how you use it. So chisel, I'm going to write a sentence. The boy used a sharp chisel to make the wooden bowl.
Chisel.
I wrote the boy used a sharp chisel to make the wooden bowl.
My friend brought me a chisel on my birthday.
Okay.
I
Your
also have a story by said George and the cherry tree, because the time that his friend he gave a new axe. That's a God story, and he gave a new axe, and his father was a gardener, and he one day he planted a nice, beautiful cherry tree, and by mistake he chopped, but he said the truth, and I also gave an axe. That's a new axe.
yeah.
He wanted to try, and he's so curious.
So an axe is another tool that is used to chop or cut into wood. Yeah,
You
so
take the pieces from the tree.
an axe is another tool that could be used to chop down a tree. You could use a saw, or you could use an axe, or you could use a hatchet. A hatchet is like an axe is really big, and a hatchet is just like an axe, only it's smaller, like a hammer, and it's about the size of a big hammer. So, but yeah, they do the same kind
So
of.
a chopper that's with this much and get chopped. And I also have cartoon in it. The Bonnie Bears, because it's a funny cartoon.
Okay.
I like
All right. Well, next time I think I'll be able to read because my cold will be about gone. And I told you that we're going to read this book called Thunder Cake. Thunder Cake. And it's by Patricia Polacco. She's a famous artist, children's artist, Patricia Polacco. And it's kind of a fun story about a girl who's afraid of thunderstorms, and her grandmother helps her figure out how not to be afraid of these thunderstorms. So grandma lives on a farm, and there's a word that we're going to deal with. It's a Russian word. This family has Russian origins, which means they come from the country of Russia. And I want you to write this word down. B, as in boy, B, A,
A,
B, A. Do you have BA?
Yes.
Okay. And then another B, B-A-B, U, S,
S.
H, K,
A.
A. B-U-B-S-H-K-A. Have you ever heard of that word?
No.
Okay, well, we'll find out what that word is on Wednesday when I read Thunder Cake to you. It's pronounced babushka. Babushka. How many syllables would babushka have?
Babushka. 3 syllables.
Yes, babushka would have 3 syllables. So we don't know what that word is yet, but we'll get some clues. We'll get some clues when we start reading the story. And it's a fun little story. I think you'll really enjoy it. Okay, well, I think I better quit today because my voice is I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. But I think I'll be just fine by Wednesday. Okay, I feel so much better today, and thank you for your phone call yesterday. That was very sweet. And it made me feel better. Okay, so you have a good evening, enjoy your dinner, and have a good day at school tomorrow. And I will talk to you on Wednesday.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye
Okay.
for now. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.